Now it's time to start working on the game scene. So if you remember from our design, what we've currently done is the introduction scene, the main menu scene. Now we've got to work on the game scene. And you can see here that it has background layer, other background layers, a tile map layer, a player layer, and projectile layer. So let's make a start at building this out. First I'm just going to add all the functions that we're going to be using in this scene. So first I'll add a did move to view, so straight away we can set some things up. Then just to keep it organized, I'm just going to split my setup into assign layers and setup layers. Next I just wanted to add the functions for handling screen interactions and also key events. So this is when a user on a Mac presses a key on the keyboard. This function is capturing the event, so you'll know which key is pressed, and it's also capturing whether it's a key down or key up event. So you can do something when the key is pressed down and when the user lifts their finger off the key. This is very useful in movement for games, because when someone presses left on the keyboard, you want the character to continue moving left until they release the key. So you can do that by watching whether it is a key down or key up event. I'm also going to add in my update from the game loop, so we can handle any changes for each frame. Here we have contact delegate methods, when two objects touch each other or when they stop contacting each other. You'll know about it here and then can pass that interaction onto each of the individual classes. And we'll just add another heading down here for any other events that we decide to add. Okay, so coming back to our chart, we're going to start adding some of these layers now so that we can slowly build these out over time. These layers are going to be instance variables. But before we do that, let's just add in some useful functionality. So start by typing out an enum called GameState. This will just be used to track where the game currently is. So is it before the game has started? Is it paused? Is it currently active? Is the main character dead? All of these things will affect the game loop. After that, I'll just add the data that is going to get passed into this class when it starts. So the ninja index, that will be whatever the selected character is from the character select screen. The current level, that will be the name of the current level file, so that the scene knows what to load when it begins. So you can see by our chart that these will be added at a later time. For now we're just going to default them to something. Okay, so now we're just going to add a few variables for monitoring the game state. So you have the current game state, which is based on this enum up here. We've got last update time and delta time. And these are going to be used in the game loop to help us determine the actual time passed per frame. So if I come down into this update statement now, I can add in this delta time calculation. So if last update time greater than 0, this is just a simple check just to make sure that the time has moved forward and that you're not going to get a negative number. So if it is positive, then the delta time is going to be equal to the current time take the last update time. And for anything else, it's just going to be 0. And then I'm going to set the last update time to the current time, so that it can be used in the next frame. Now down here in the update game, I'm just going to put an if statement, if current game state is equal to game active. So anything that happens in here is going to happen because the game is currently active. Entities, we'll be going over these shortly. I'll just leave this area blank for now. Layers, we're going to be adding these shortly. Same with stats and sounds. So I'll just build and run to make sure that this is still working. Excellent. So it's all set up with all the functions we're going to be using. In the next lesson we're going to see how some of this looks in action and add our background nodes.